art geeks. Welcome to my humble abode where together we discover the wonderful world of art and culture. That sounded a lot less corny in my head. Today's exhibition is about one specific form of art, street arts. Different forms of graffiti have been around for quite some time, but the term street art only became popular a few decades ago, emerging from a larger movement of artists who wanted to situate art in non-traditional artistic contexts. And what better place to use than the street, the public spaces that belong to all of us, at least in theory. In practice, this kind of unauthorized and unofficial interventions in public space are still widely considered vandalism, and street artists often end up in jail because of their creations. On the other hand, street art is becoming increasingly more popular in the mainstream art world. It started to be exhibited and therefore assimilated into traditional exhibition spaces around the 1980s. And since then, a lot of artists have received international attention from curators and collectors. One of the best known examples of a commercially successful artist is Banksy, whose works are routinely collected by the likes of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Today's exhibition, titled simply Street Art, took place at the Dexa building, right at the heart of Porto, almost next door to the city council. I was surprised to find out that it was actually organized and therefore endorsed by the Porto City Council. This is surprising because over the years there have been many notorious quarrels between street artists and the council, with arrests and constant cleanings of artworks all over the city. This exhibition signals a new positive attitude towards this art form, and I hope they keep it that way. What they did was give the building over entirely to the 22 artists exhibited, most of whom, like Alma, Hazul and Dheo, are Portuguese. But there were a few foreign artists like Natz from France and Okuda from Spain. Check out the entire artists list in this video's description. The artists were given free rein to decide what they would do with the space, how they would use it, what kind of access to give to it, everything. No place was off limits for an intervention. Even the spaces of transition, like the stairs and hallways, and even the floor numbers were occupied by artworks. The result is seamless and immersive. Some of these artists demonstrated incredible elegance in the way they occupied the space, leaving enough of the building visible to show the canvas they were projecting their art to, merging the artworks with the space so that the entire building becomes a strange blend of exhibition space and an installation art object itself. A lot of these artworks have a heavily political leaning, as would be expected from street art. Some of them comment on youth and not so youth problems, such as unemployment, lost dreams, financial and social problems, homelessness, and so on. Related themes include the environment, national identity, and this is especially relevant in Portugal right now. Actually, in Europe, since national sovereignties are being surpassed and ignored in favor of financial structures and corporations, and people often feel that their own governments do nothing to represent their best interests. On a more humorous side, there are quite a few works that poke fun at cultural issues. One of my favorites was this one, about Joana Vasconcelos and Paulo Rego, probably the best known, or at least internationally, living Portuguese artists right now. A variety of materials were used in these installations, not just paint. Things like yarn, wood, plastic, sculpture, various objects like radios, television sets, spray cans, and even garbage were all used effectively. Even the light is controlled to great effect. One thing that you notice is that all of the works are extremely labor-intensive. A lot of these artists work on their own, so it's hard to imagine how they would be able to do similar projects on streets that are still hostile to them. working mostly at night while trying to dodge the attention of law enforcement. It makes you wonder, what kinds of artworks would we have on the streets if these artists were given the chance? What do you think of street art? Do you like seeing it in your city? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!